In the headlines, police arrest fake soldier and notorious bandit in Zamfara state. 4 persons rescued from collapsed building in Uyo. National Association of Nigerian Students threatened to shut down airports over lingering ASU strike. And on the foreign scene, 2 trapped in building collapse after major quake of Taiwan. Hello and welcome to News Update on Trust Television. I am Nten Ekbang. And on the news in full, police in Zamfara state say 10 suspected bandits, informants and collaborators who supplied firearms, ammunition, military camouflage uniforms to the bandits in the forest have been arrested. The command's public relations officer, Superintendent Mohammed Shehu, who paraded the suspect on behalf of the Commissioner of Police, Kolo Yusuf, said the suspected bandits, informants and collaborators were arrested at various locations in the state. Shehu said the suspected bandits, informants have been collaborating with the bandits to unleash terror on innocent citizens in Gusau, Kaura, Safi and Bungudu local government areas of Zamfara state, northwest Nigeria.
Parade of notorious bandits informants who specialize in giving information to armed bandits, supplying arms and ammunition, supply of foodstuffs, operational motorcycles, military uniforms, and also negotiate and deliver ransom to bandits in the bush. So we have arrested this notorious syndicate and will be paraded before the press for members of the public to know what the police in Zamfara is doing to curtail activities of criminal element in Zamfara state.
And scores of armed bandits belonging to the notorious Bello Turji camp have been eliminated. The bandits were killed during a surprise raid by the air troops of Operation Forest Sanity in Zamfara state. The raid was carried out by 2 NAV fighter jets upon receiving credible intelligence. A defense intelligence source told newsmen that the NAV jets rained their missiles at Fakai area believed to be the residence of the dreaded bandits leader Bello Turji as part of the military counter-offensive operations currently going on in that axis. Our policemen in Katsina have killed 1 suspected armed robber, arrested 1 and recovered a Toyota Land Cruiser vehicle. The suspected robbers made Waterloo during a stop-and-search operation by the police operatives at Koza village in May Adwa local government area of Katsina state. Koza village is 5 kilometers away to Niger Republic border. Abdullahi Yamadi completes that report.
The suspected robbers, sensing danger, engaged the police operatives in a gun battle, but the gallant police officers were lucky to overpower them, killing 1, apprehending another. The police said the suspected armed robbers used a sophisticated device which distorts any electronic devices from tracking the vehicle.
One robber is using this, the network of your handsets, the network of the vehicle, the tracker and whatever will not work. And if, for example, they are entering into your house to rob you, this is how they do it. You can see how they place it here. And when they entered, you cannot be able to make phone calls either to the police, to your neighbors, to whosoever, so that somebody will come and assist you.
Similarly, in the custody of Katsina Police Command is a suspected trafficker and drugs dealer, Abdurazak Ajibidi. The police said they have arrested the suspect with 180 carefully packaged parcels of dried leaves suspected to be cannabis sativa.
At where exactly were you arrested? Welcome to Kasina.
Welcome to Kasina. When you are about taking delivery?
When they were transloading to the other motor that is coming from Niger side.
Okay. The police said that the expected destination of the intercepted parcels of the Indian yam is somewhere in Niger Republic, hence re-echoing calls on the public to assist in fighting enemies of Nigeria until they are defeated.
Immediately our operatives went after him and some members of his syndicates. They succeeded in arresting him, while the other one, including the driver, Shuaibu, escaped. Shuaibu is from Niger Republic, and according to him, he will interview him. He said they are going to take this quantum of weeds on transit to Niger Republic.
For the remaining 2 members of the syndicate now at large, the police give assurances that they will be arrested to face the music according to the laws of the land. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
A yet-to-be-identified Chinese man has allegedly stabbed his lover, a 23-year-old, to death at Jambulu Quarters in Kumboso local government area of Kano. The incident reportedly happened around 10 p.m. on Friday after the suspect came to visit the deceased, identified as Umakusum Sani Buhari, at her parents' house located adjacent to the National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency (NESRA) in the area. Now, while the reasons for what transpired between the duo that led to the unfortunate incident remain sketchy, she was confirmed dead by a doctor after she was rushed to the hospital the same night. Abubakar Mustafa, a neighbor to the deceased, said the deceased, a divorcee, entered into a relationship with a Chinese national after her failed marriage. Public Relations Officer in Kano, Abdullahi Haruna, has confirmed the incident. 4 persons have so far been rescued from the debris of a story building that collapsed at Iman Street by incentive of Akar Road, Uyo, in Akwa Ibom State. The building was still under construction when it collapsed on Saturday evening. According to the Commissioner of Information and Strategy in Imemobong, the 4 persons rescued have been taken to the hospital while rescue operations is still ongoing. He said all critical rescue and security agencies like police, DSS, fire service are on ground with technical support from construction companies to assist in the rescue operation. Pensioners in Ogun State who could not get their pay after retirement have called on the state government to fast-track the payment process because many of them are sick and need money for treatment. Now, mostly affected are those that retired after the introduction of the contributory pension scheme, as majority of those that retired earlier said they get their benefits and retirement pensions every month. Hamid Oyegbade filed a report as presented in our studio.
Retired workers of Osun State government have held series of protests in Osogbo, the state capital, to demand payment of their gratuity and pension. According to the pensioners, the problem started after the introduction of contributory pension scheme, which forced many workers to leave the service. Some of the affected retirees who spoke behind camera lamented that they were denied their benefits after serving the state for years. Some said they are sick and in pitiable condition, as well as unable to feed and buy drugs. A retiree, Remi Adeagbo Alabelewe, appealed to the state government to fast-track the process so that the money can be paid to the pensioners.
Currently, the situation with the contributory pensioners in Osun State, without minding the years they have entered the palaver, is worrisome, is dastardly, and people are dying every day. People are on the sick bed. We want to urge the governor, Alhaji Boyega Oyetola, to please assist and fast track the payment of the contributory pensioners' entitlement vis-a-vis the 29 and a half months salary.
Other pensioners, Richard Akintade and Laila Oyi, who retired before contributory pension scheme was introduced in the state, said they received their gratuity and they are getting their monthly pension.
Pensions and gratuity were adequately and instantly paid. Maximum of 3 months, you get everything. But by the time I retired, it was getting a little bit not as easy as it was. But fortunately, I was able to collect my own gratuity and got myself enrolled for monthly pension with some ease. But that has not been the luck of those who retired after, especially those who retired after 2012.
I retired from the Osun State Civil Service in 1997 from the Osun State Ministry of Information. And since that time, I've collected my gratuity. And since then, I've been collecting my monthly pensions till date. But it's like things have changed now because some workers that retired currently, they don't get their money on time.
Contributive pension was introduced by the Obasanjo administration to address myriads of problems associated with pension administration in the country.
As the cost of living in the country continues to rise with every passing day, the senator representing Kogi West, Smart Adeyemi, says the National Assembly is taking deliberate steps to ameliorate the impact on the lives of Nigerians. To this end, he said the Assembly recently invited the Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele for a session on how to address the issue. Speaking to Trust TV, Adeyemi said the Senate will diligently go through the budget with a view to ensuring that issues of the economy are effectively addressed.
A lot of billions have been spent on, expended on poverty alleviation, palliatives, which to some of us, there's going to be a need for a review. That instead of giving people fish to eat, we rather teach them how to fish. So some of us, we've already started discussion on it. I'm sure we're going to be discussing the economy. And don't forget, before we went on recess, there was a request by the Senate inviting the Governor of Central Bank to appear before us. All those issues are issues that will be geared towards how we can reposition the economy, how we can provide solutions to the poor exchange rate, and how we can open up the economy more for both local and foreign investors. These are needed if we really want to get people off the streets, and if we want to maintain, we want to see peace and stability to our country. We're going to definitely touch the budget to meet these shortcomings, because see, the executive, they do not see what we see, because the electorate, those who have elected us, the masses of this country, they don't have access to the executives. Who they have, the people they have access to are those who they have elected. So for us, when the money bill arrives, some of the things we're going to do is to look at those issues that affect the standard of living, the exchange rate, job creation, wealth creation. Those are the issues we're going to focus on. And that, again, when that is done, then you start hearing the executive shouting that the National Assembly, they have tampered with the budget, they have distorted the budget. The budget will be distorted as long as it doesn't meet the needs and the aspirations and challenges facing the economy and facing the Nigerian people.
Now, barely 2 updates to the kickoff of the presidential campaign for the 2023 general elections. The crisis rocking the African Democratic Congress, the ADC, took a further plunge with the expulsion of its presidential candidate, Dumebi Kachukwu, for anti-party activities. The decision of the party to suspend Kachukwu and 7 other members was conveyed in a statement issued on Saturday by the national chairman of the party, Ralph Nwosu. The presidential candidate had supported the call for Nwosu to resign after holding office for 17 years. In a statement, the chairman said a 7-member disciplinary panel found Dumebi guilty of all the allegations leveled against him. Kachukwu was expelled along with 7 others, namely the Kogi State chairman of the party, Kingsley Oga, a state chairman for Edo, Kennedy Odion, Kabiru Hussaini, Alaka William, Bello Isiaka, Musa Hassan, as well as Clement Ehiato. You're watching News Update on Trust Television. Coming up after the break, Taraba residents decry poor maintenance of drainages. Please stay with us.
Every patriotic Nigerian should hear this. Any politician who means well for the people will never allow themselves or their supporters to engage in any violent, destructive activities. No politician who truly wants to serve the people and develop the nation will encourage his followers to destroy properties or take human lives before, during, or after the elections. The Nigerian public must watch out for these traits and isolate any politician who encourages supporters to engage in violence. No genuine politician or patriot will cause trouble and seek to destroy the very society which they aspire to lead or develop. Politicians who have the good of the people at heart will not allow themselves or their followers to engage in violence, destruction of properties, and then taking of lives. Be vigilant. By their words you shall know them. Shun violence. Stay away from politicians who want you to do so. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NORA.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news update live on Trust Television. A recap of our major stories. Police arrest fake soldier, notorious bandit in Zamfara State. And 4 persons rescued from collapsed building in Oyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital. And to more stories now, the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, has said it will ground activities at both local and international airports across the country beginning from Monday, September 19, over the lingering strike action by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU. Leadership of NANS, who spoke in Akure, the Ondo State capital, said the grounding of the airport was to make the rich share in the pains of the students occasioned by the prolonged strike action. The chairman, NANS National Task Force on End ASU Strike Now, Comrade Ojo Raymond Olumide, said students were tired of pleading with both parties to end the strike. Olumide cautioned ASU not to call off the strike after any increment in their salary, but to insist on other demands that led to the strike action. He said his decision to ground airport activities was due to the successes recorded in East Road protest, in which several highways were blocked. Bauchi State Environmental Protection Agency has engaged youths in Bauchi on the importance of cleaning their environment as part of community services to mark the World Cleanup Day 2022. The activities marking the day held at the Nigerian Union of Journalists Secretariat Bauchi Council on Saturday, with the evacuation of exercise of refuse in some communities within the metropolis, as Adamu Imam reports.
The annual commemorative activities of Clean Up Day started 3 years ago, with Bauchi being among the states that celebrate the day with a call on youth to embrace cleaning and evacuating waste in their various communities for a better and healthy society. Stakeholders at the exercise explained the concept and importance of collaboration in protecting the environment.
We have some ISO collection centers that are by the side of the road, so we consider them as the ones that require urgent attention. And that's why we are here today, to clean up and make sure that we don't protect the waste.
Provide a country, a state, a world where it's dirt-free, because it improves the livelihood of the people around it. We are all people of this earth. It is our home, it's our environment. We all have to come together to make sure that we see that we stop loitering, polluting, littering, polluting the land, to make sure that we have a good and safe environment for us and the generations after us, inshallah.
One of the residents close to Bakaro Primary School faulted the absence of some community leaders at the cleanup exercise, which he says is for the benefit of all. They called us yesterday. Even the district head told us after prayers to come out and join the evacuation exercise. But to my surprise, only 6 of us came out. The refuse is causing hazard here. This is rather unfortunate from our community leaders. Meanwhile, during the cleanup engagement at the NUJ Secretariat, some notable stakeholders commended the youths for the collaborative effort and urged them to do more. They, however, say the initiative for inclusiveness is an attempt to keep youth informed on how to keep the environment healthy at all times. Adam Imam, Trust TV News. Bauchi.
Some residents of Turaki A ward of Jalingo local government area of Taraba State have decried the poor maintenance of drainages and indiscriminate dumping of refuse on water channels by local marketers in the area. They are therefore calling on the government to come to their aid and help get rid of the refuse to avert an environmental health disaster. The report.
The residents who lamented that some of the blocked drainages have led to floods and other environmental hazards also appealed to local marketers to desist from dumping refuse and waste materials on water channels. One of the residents, who identified himself as Usman Abba, spoke with our correspondent in Hausa.
I and my team of other residents were assigned by the government to clear the drainages. My name is Usman Abba. My house is nearby. This flood was caused by the indiscriminate dumping of refuse by traders in the market nearby. The heap of refuse was dumped by the traders, and when the rain falls, it blocks the drainage, break it and push the water into the people's house. I saw when the water forced its way into our homes. This happening in the city were under the watch of the government, something the government could have stopped before it escalated. I wonder why the government failed to act. I was among the group of residents who reported the matter to the government, and no action was taken until this happened.
They are appealing to the government to provide waste bins around the area and also designate appropriate places where refuse and other waste materials could be properly dumped. A visit round the community to ascertain the nature of the drainages and the damage caused following their poor maintenance reveals that several houses were affected, while work is in progress on some of them.
I am a resident of this area. The indiscriminate dumping of refuse by the people in our drainages and waterways caused the flood. The bad environment practice is not good. We have made appeal to the government to take action, and they are working on it. The flood was caused by the heap of refuse dumped by traders in the market. The bad environmental practices by the traders have caused these damages to our houses.
When contacted, the caretaker chairman of Jalingo local government area, Dr. Aminu Jauro Hassan, stated that the situation was a source of concern to the leadership of the local government and assured the people that his administration will get rid of the menace in no distant time.
Allowing us as a council to take proper and formal decision on how to go about solving the problem. But I want to assure you, and I want to assure the good people of Jalingo local government, who serve as a seat of government of Taraba State, the assurances of our councils putting in measures to ensure that that menace is brought to the barest minimum.
Many in the area are hopeful that such assurances will translate to physical action to ensure the safety of lives and property in the area.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, SAN, will be representing Nigeria at a number of events on Sunday and Monday during the state funeral for the late Queen Elizabeth II in the United Kingdom. Osinbajo departed Abuja on Saturday and will join members of the royal family, world leaders including members of the Commonwealth, heads of state, governors general, prime ministers and foreign royal families at the ceremonies including the funeral service scheduled to hold at Westminster Abbey on Monday. A statement from the Senior Special Assistant to the Vice President on Media and Publicity, Laolu Akonde, says ahead of the service, the Vice President will be among guests and dignitaries to be received by King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla at a reception in Buckingham Palace on Sunday. Now, earlier on Sunday, the Vice President will hold the bilateral meeting with the UK Foreign Secretary James Cleverly. The Vice President will return to Nigeria after Monday's state funeral. On the foreign scene, a magnitude 6.9 earthquake struck Taiwan's southeastern coast on Sunday, with at least one building collapsing and train cars derailed. The U.S. Geological Survey said the quake hit at about 50 kilometers north of the city of Taitung at a depth of 10 kilometers. Authorities say a two-story residential building collapsed near the epicenter and work is underway to rescue two trapped people. The Taiwan Railways Administration said 3 carriages came off the rail at Dongli Station in eastern Taiwan after parts of the platform canopy collapsed. The roughly 20 passengers on board were evacuated. And in sports, former Nigerian junior international Orji Okonkwo has had his 4-year ban for doping violation by the Italian National Anti-Doping Tribunal extended worldwide by World Football Governing Body FIFA. A statement by the Director of Communications at the Nigerian Football Federation, the NFF, Ademola Olachiri, on Saturday said FIFA's verdict was contained in its ruling on the case for worldwide extension of the ban brought before it by Italian NADO. Olachiri said the decision complies with the regulations of FIFA and extending the sanctions does not conflict with public order or with accepted standards of behavior. And on a lighter note, let's take a look at how a small town in East China's Zhejiang has acquired wealth from snail farming, which has become prosperous in China thanks to the increasing popularity among Chinese teenagers.
Snail is a delicacy in French cuisine. Statistics show that 300 million snails are consumed in France every year. Snails have played an integrated part in French cuisine for hundreds of years. The French delicacy is now often served at Chinese dining tables, which has driven the growth of the snail industry.
In a small township in Jiaxing, the local people started breeding snails 35 years ago, in 1987. Today we are visiting a leading company in producing and processing snails in Yuxin Township, Jiaxing City, East China's Zhejiang Province. And this company has taken up 70% of the market share in Chinese market.
目前我们公司的产品面向全国消费市场，近几年。
I think that looks yummy and worth trying. Well, that's the much we can take on this edition of News Update. For more, do connect with us across all our social media platforms. I am Nten Ekpang. Many thanks for watching. Bye-bye.